It is a big idea, a new world order.
Your world is not what it seems. Alex Ansary, Outside the Box.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It is January 14th, 2010. First, we're going to be joined with the Constitution Party nominee for Governor of California, Chelene Nightingale. Now, let's talk about our guest coming up in just a little bit, Chelene Nightingale, originally from the Pacific Northwest. Chelene is no stranger to politics. For the past 5 years, Chelene has been a leading constitutional activist, organizing many rallies and marches in California. During the last presidential election cycle, Chelene was honored with an invitation to personally meet and endorse Congressman Ron Paul. It was due to her past political achievements that the National Constitution Party leaders and members requested her to run for governor in California as an American independent. Chelene, thanks for coming on.
Well, thank you for having me, Alex. I appreciate it.
Well, there's a lot of stuff going on, obviously, in the world. Tell us about your candidacy right now, running for the governor of California.
Well, it's been very interesting because there's something different this time than 3 years ago, actually 4 years ago now in 2006, when I helped Art Olivier, who was a third-party candidate. You know, back then people were still stuck in the voting for their party and not really paying attention to politics. Maybe they were waking up a little bit, but this time we are definitely seeing a difference. People are, tired of voting for the lesser of two evils. They're looking for liberty candidates. I think we're seeing that across the country. People are interested in we, the people, taking back our government the way it's constitutionally was designed. So we're very busy, and we're very grateful to all of our supporters. But we definitely have a long journey ahead of us. The three major proponents are all very much, Council on Foreign Relations elite types, and here we are in the third party. But even more than that, whoever one of us wins, we definitely have a large mountain to conquer once in office, because California is just going down. We were once the seventh largest economy in the world. We've slipped to apparently the eighth, and we continue to slip as we become the largest, debted. We are now the lowest debted, highest debted state in the country, and growing. In fact, our governor and our legislature are in a special session they're saying that we're in a state of emergency and they need to cut a $42 billion deficit.
What do you think are some of the biggest economic problems taking place in California right now? I've read a story about Schwarzenegger considering selling some of the state parks to make up for the deficit. Do you know anything about this story? Your thoughts on this?
Well, first of all, he also wanted to sell, items on eBay. So just really ridiculous. What they're doing is they're doing this, the typical elite. Well, let's just find some surface topics that make it look like we're attempting to do something, when here in the state of California, we are the state with the highest illegal alien population. We spend over $10.5 billion in our state alone on just the public welfare for illegal aliens. That doesn't include, it only includes healthcare. It's not including education. It's not including other special things like food stamps. In LA County alone, we spend about $3 billion a year on illegal aliens. And we all know why illegal aliens come here. They are coming here for a better life, but at the expense of the taxpayers and at the expense of our own infrastructure here. So these are the real issues that need to be addressed, and they're not even looking at those. There's also so much wasteful spending. We have a legislature that is out of control. They're full-time. They need to go part-time. There are many other areas in which we could look. Our state, because it is so taking away our liberties and rights. They've pushed out, they've taxed us, overtaxed us, they've taxed businesses out of our state. They've, our governor, I don't think it's, everyone knows that he has, was famous for signing some agreement with Tony Blair regarding global warming, which I don't know how your viewers feel about this, but I know that I feel it's a hoax. And because of this, they created a global warming solutions tax in AB 32 in our state, and it's really putting businesses out of business. Mm-hmm. So the problems that they themselves, the elite themselves, have created are the problems they're not even addressing. So we have a vicious cycle that we need to end.
I also want to get your take on these military drills, which some call martial law drills, taking place in multiple states. As the governor, being a Liberty candidate, how do you think some of this should be approached? Because a lot of people are expressing the opinion that governors no longer have any power. They just have to take commands from Homeland Security, and they need to get along to keep their particular, the job in office. What is your take on that fallacy that a lot of people still tend to believe?
Well, first of all, and I've been saying this at many of the events I attend, every citizen needs to get out a Constitution. If they don't have one, they need to go to the post office, to the library, wherever. They need to go get a Constitution and read the Bill of Rights to find out truly what is legal and not legal. And the 10th Amendment, which thankfully many states, and I want to thank the 10th Amendment Center very kindly for not only supporting our campaign, but being out there to rally, these nullification rallies to educate individuals that the 10th Amendment made it so that the states had powers over the federal government, not the other way around. And sovereign states.
When the swine flu scare came out, it was shortly after a bunch of articles came out. I'm not saying it was related, but it makes you wonder. There were a lot of different states following what you're talking about, 10th Amendment, state sovereignty, states' rights, and then all of a sudden we saw the panic taking place. Now we need the government to do even more drills with states, so the mainstream media was telling the people, to keep us safe from this pandemic, yet we're losing our sovereignty in the process of allowing them to do some of these drills. And so it was interesting to see the timing of all of that take place.
Oh, I totally agree with you, and I know so many times people call people like you and me conspiracy theorists, but I truly believe that the internet, even your local library, is full of information where you can find the facts. These individuals, the Bilderbergs, the CFR, the Trilateral Commission, Richard Haas, George Soros, they don't hide what they do. They of course it's not on the evening news, but it's out there for all to read.
It's out there. It's out. Well, George Soros says China should run the New World Order. That was about a month ago.
Yes, I know. So people just need to stop watching the alphabet soup news and actually get online, find other Americans and exchange information. I mean, that's how I get my news. We're definitely, I think something's definitely brewing. Just the fact that here there's a strong 10th Amendment movement, and I'm glad that you read the news about the Council of Governors. I received that a couple of days ago, and that is pretty astonishing. If that happens, it really basically kills the Constitution. And I don't know if you saw the latest, most recent Ron Paul video in which he's addressing Congress, and it's almost like he's saying, get ready for the revolution. And I encourage everybody to go Google Ron Paul, Congress. It was, I believe, January 8th. Something's definitely brewing, and we see them collapsing our economy throughout the country, throughout the world. And I'm hoping that it's not too late for we liberty-minded individuals to take our country back, take our sovereign rights, and rebuild. And that's why I think that the 2010, I'm glad you have two liberty candidates on your show tonight, because people you cannot stay home in 2010 or 2012 this election cycle. I hear so many people who say they don't vote. You cannot do that this time.